It was not until nearly 100 years later that someone stopped to ask why nitroglycerin helped with chest pain, and won a share of the Nobel Prize for Medicine for doing so. Farid Murad, a doctor and pharmacologist, now based at the University of Texas, began his analysis of the way in which nitroglycerin works in the late 1970s.
It was exciting to figure out, although this drug had been used for probably more than 100 years, that we now figured out its mechanisms of action. And what these drugs do is permit these compounds under the right conditions of the tissue to generate nitric oxide.
Murad not only showed that nitroglycerin acts by releasing a gas called nitric oxide, he theorized that it acts as a messenger molecule, sending out signals to the countless cells that make up our bodies, and telling them how to behave. The discovery caused a sensation. Experiments on blood vessels in Furchtgott's laboratory often gave contradictory results. He found he could cause the smooth muscle surrounding blood vessels to expand or contract, but only if the endothelium, the lining of the blood vessel, was intact. The implication was that this lining was releasing a messenger that acted on the muscle cells. This messenger was dubbed EDRF, endothelial relaxing factor, and now the search was on to identify this mysterious molecule.
It took almost an embarrassingly long time to find out what the agent was. We did not find out that the agent was nitric oxide until 1986, largely because nitric oxide was considered a toxic agent. How could it be something that was important in controlling circulation?
Dr. Luis Ignaro at UCLA had been studying the effects of nitric oxide ever since Murad's revelation, and was fascinated by the similarities between nitric oxide and Furchtgott's EDRF.
We did the key experiment. We took a nitric oxide, which actually is supplied as a gas in a cylinder, and we actually injected it as a small stream of bubbles into organ chambers containing strips of coronary artery. And lo and behold, we noticed that it caused a dramatic relaxation of that smooth muscle, and therefore the pressure within the vessel would drop. So once we did that very first experiment and noticed that nitric oxide was a very potent agent in relaxing the smooth muscle, we knew that we had it.